I'll be reacting to Girls Frontline episode 5. I'll be watching it from Funimation's website, and I'll be starting my reaction in 1, 0, go. I always love the sound of Funimation's logo. At least from my perspective, I think it sounds pretty damn cool. All right, now it's here. I don't like this where he kept showing the highlights of the previous episode. I just hope that for the sake of this series, it continues the trend. Well, I hope this, since it's an odd number episode of the series, I'm going to assume that the action's going to look cool here. I hope this actually allows M4A1 to grow, though, and seeing how effective it can be and utilizing stealth and tactics to her advantage, I hope that she implements that into her own fighting in the future to reduce casualties. That's if they can even... Okay, on the positive side, that means that AR-15 is going to be safe for a little bit long. Well, I wouldn't say safe, but at least if she's utilized as bait, it's going to hopefully prevent them from killing her completely. The thing is, though, they really don't have the resources to do that, though, even if they wanted to. You can tell she was tempted to talk about making a rescue mission, though. Yo, she's actually going for it. Even though, logistically speaking, it'd be better if Johnson didn't mention anything about the rescue mission. Of course, they're not going to say no to this. She is actually right about that. I kind of like this, how they discuss differences between the dolls and human characters here. And also, it gives you some character development for Juntian, because instead of going for like the completely tactical, safe, sound tactic, she's going for the much more riskier, ballsy decision of actually ordering a rescue mission. So I gotta admit, I love Jian Zhang's gutsiness here. I think it makes her more of a cooler badass than she already was, if you ask me. And that's the type of stuff I love to see in this series, like dynamic character development. Because it only makes the action set pieces in this series a lot more funner to watch when the characters in the series are doing intense shit like that. I like how in the opening, Johnson looks so happy to give out orders, but in actual series, she looks like the whole world is on the freaking line whenever she's giving orders out. I just love the contrast between the opening and the actual series. At least that's what I notice anyway, when it comes to the differences between the two. Not that there's anything wrong with that. I just find that to be pretty damn fucking interesting. From my perspective, at the very least. I am not going to remember the names of these other side characters. I'm only going to really remember the names of our mains. I'm not even going to bother. Especially since characters have the names of weapons with a mix of numbers and lettering too, which doesn't make it any easier on the ears, aside of course, our main girls. I like how, even though what FNC said was a little bit uncalled for, I like how she's stating facts, though. And this is realistic. It makes sense that only some dolls would like what our main girls are going for, and others wouldn't like what they're going for. I'd say at least makes for some decent writing because we're getting very bits of characterization for the different dolls. Oh shit! It doesn't look like you're gonna have a lot of forces to work with. Kind of like what, 6, 7 dolls at best. I mean, yeah. Oh. Okay, so it actually is 7. Okay, that definitely looks pretty huge. I can only hope it's not limited to these 7 dolls and they got way more than just 7, though. At least 20 or 30 dolls at the very least. Okay, never mind. They're not going to have a lot of forces then if it's going to be infiltration. Oh, never mind. Yes. Okay. Because I was imagining it'd be impossible for them to do this rescue mission if it was just 7 of them. I'd say the only thing they could have done to make this moment better is if they would have given us the dolls in their normal life right before they were sent on a mission, though. So that I care more about AR-15, because really the only characters in the series I really give a shit about is M4A1, because she's had like the most sequences where she's been in the most danger and she's had the most feats, so she's the most memorable. Giantine, obviously, is about the character I also care about a lot too. That's why I kind of wish they gave us some more characterization on some of the other dolls. Hope they rectify this in future episodes, though. I just love how the soundtrack sounds like they're going to go up against like an overwhelmingly dominating force, like they're about to. Now, this is some nice build-up OST. Kind of like how, at least here, they explain how the imposing enemy can actually resist the forces of our main protagonist with that throwaway line there. Mentioning how the enemy in this series deals with higher numbers. It looks like it's going to be a big one straight up. I don't think there's any hesitation on that. Oh, fuck. The thing is, though, and even if it would interfere with the mission, it's like they would have the luxury of taking her in for maintenance. They're just going to have to deal with what they got to work with. But I love how that adds tension here because at the very least, it shows us that at least M4 isn't going to have the luxury of being fully prepared. Knowing our girl, she's going to want to go beyond that. Hey, I don't think she should be calling our girl a kid, though, if she kicks a little ass. I mean, she has a point. I mean, there's so many forces in that area. And I want to be surprised that they already have a lot of drones or cameras. What she's got to know is that there's no... That's going to encourage M4 to actually go all in and rescuing her. Knowing how she actually operates. There is no fucking way she's going to surrender. Because by the way our girls operate, they're going to try to take her by force. Yo, this bitch just jinxed herself. Because now our girls are going to find a way of taking over the base. At least when it comes to them. When our kid is like, oh yeah, you're not going to be able to defeat me. You're not going to be able to take my base. You're not going to capture. You're not going to be able to capture me. Usually the polar opposite happens. You know what I love about the dynamic between M4 and Giantine? I love how the series emphasizes Giantine trying to find ways of calming down M4 to de-escalate the situation. And scenarios where escalating it would make things worse. I love bits like that. There's no way she's going to do that. Yo, what a fucking sadistic bitch. But that's why I love some of the antagonists in this series. My only issue when it comes to Girls Frontline is when it has antagonists, they're just introduced and then in an episode, then they die in the same episode. And while, yes, you could say that this evil bitch lord was introduced in the previous episode, we only got her introduced in like maybe the last few seconds of the previous episode. Oh yeah, she definitely would. I mean, that's the reason why she left herself behind to make sure the others can escape. I love how Soap 2 has absolute confidence in M4, but you know what? The confidence she has in M4 is justified because we've seen in most cases in the series M4 make the right decisions. Yo, could that be the other forces of the AR team? I mean, could be. Yo! Yeah, gotta be the other AR group girls. That's my guess. Or it could be some other backup, form of backup too, though. My guess is it was hacked. Oh! Is this a shame again? Oh, okay, at least the action choreography is better here than it was in the previous episode. Maybe some intense hacking's going on? That's my guess. I really hope they do explain later on why that's happening, though, because if they never explain it, it's gonna become a Deus Ex Machina solution. Yes. Oh, yeah, at least the odds have turned into a favor towards our girls, though. All right. And it's nice even seeing her collaborate with some of the people that are similar in her position, too. Well, yeah, I mean, they're not going to get another opportunity to capture a base like that. Well, they're going to have to make it work. Wait. Could it be our goal? Yeah. Yo, I think something should be happy that there's nothing for her to do, though. She can save her strength for rescuing her friend. I'm just saying. At least in that spot, I'd be happy that things are that easy. But that's what I love about Soap, too, though. She's the type of gal that does not like things easily. I mean, let's hope for the sake of her goal she can find something favorable. Yo, when she's going inside, kind of reminds me a little bit of a Jackie Chan animation whenever Mega Man from the Mega Man Battle Network series went inside of a, or should I say, the Anti-Warrior anime series went inside of a electronic device. At least the first bit of the animation. Yo, I love this track. It's fucking awesome. Something should be happy, though. This will make her a job of protecting M41 easier, though. I just feel like everything is going too easy for our girls, though. Why do I get the feeling something's going to happen? Even like the simple throwaway characters like these snipers who are probably not going to show up again, even have well-defined character designs too. Looking damn nice. Not looking as pretty as, say, episodes 1 or 3, but it's looking way more competently produced than episodes 2 or 4. To its credit. And even though too, when the girls are running, you actually see some nice hair movement. You didn't get to see that in snippets in episode 4. And even the gunfire animation looks, and it even sounds better too, the sound effects. So all in all, you can definitely tell this episode's much more competently produced than the previous effort. Yeah, I just love seeing that big scene. Yes. And you're even seeing the opposing dolls actually react to like individual pellets from the guns all landing on their bodies too. Oh boy, that does not sound good at all. They're not going to be able to take her on with those guns. Oh, damn! Even though you're using speed lines, since the base is relatively gray, I will give him credit for at least utilizing speed lines that fit with the backgrounds to at least make the speed lines look a little bit smoother. Because there are some animes that sometimes have speed lines with environments are brown that are like fucking green, purple, or red that don't fit in with the backgrounds. So at least here, when the animators do have to do cost-cutting measures, they're doing it smartly. The other gun choreography could be better, though, because I would love to have seen M4A1 and Soap 2 shoot some bullets, duck, hide for cover, aim. Yeah, the gunplay animation could be a little bit more creative in the episode. I mean, she's one of the elite enemy models, so I'd say anything's possible at that point. Oh shit! Looks like she's gonna use that to attack this story, not just this story. Okay, at least they're able to. Oh fuck! Yeah, those chicks being awfully cocky. That's what this girl gets for being a cocky son of a bitch. Yes! Get wrecked, bitch! And love the irony, too. Question is, how does she escape, though? Yeah, that's a damn good question. Yo. Damn! Yo, what a fucking badass. She actually has a point. That's how you are most likely to catch your prey without poisoning the meat right before you kill it. Oh, wait, I wonder. Okay, I thought for a second it was going to go to like a cliffhanger ending. And we'd have to wait a week to see the end result. But I wonder why Hunter smiled there. Oh, and I love the gentleness in M4's voice. I mean, she would never abandon her friends, though. I mean, she does, but hey, everything ended up fine, though. But I could see why. Well, because obviously she didn't need help, but the one that needs help is the other girl. I could see why she'd be a little angry. So I'm not gonna blame AR-15 for her slight saltiness. Oh, yeah. I wonder what she said there. But I can understand where AR-15 is coming from, though. I could see where she's coming from because, yeah, it probably would have been more beneficial if she'd have gone to try to save her big sis. Like, obviously, since M16 doesn't have the hacking capabilities of AR, I could see why she would have wanted that to happen. But hey, you know what? At least her girls are fun, though. And there wasn't any, like, major deaths to the credit of the episode. Now, in saying that, let me rate this episode. I liked it. It's returned to form. And if I had to rate this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being abysmal, 5 being 9 to 10 being exceptional, I'm going to give this episode a 6 out of 10 for above average. I liked it. I'd say my only complaint is that the episode did feel a little rushed, though, because I would have loved to have seen how the abilities of AR work, because, yes, we know that she hacked the whole thing, but I would have loved to have seen how does it work? What are the limitations of her abilities? Because here's my issue with this. Now, every single time she enters into a facility, it's going to make you wonder, okay, can she hack things? Can she be able to hack this thing? I mean, she did it when she was captured. That's my only potential issue with this series, and then not explaining the mechanics as to how her hacking abilities work. But that was the only issue I had with the episode from a story standpoint. I liked everything else. The action was cool. Okay, now it's back. Damn, this girl always has a mission like 24/7. Does she even take a break? All right, I like where this is going. Message 1. And there's also, almost forgot to mention, but there's another issue too that's rearing its head when it comes to this series. And I still enjoy this series, but I gotta mention it. I'd be dishonest if I didn't mention it. But my issue with this episode too also lies in the fact that the antagonists in this series suck, and I really do mean that series. Or maybe like a piece of when they're introduced. Like this series is really falling into the trappings of having no memorable villains to speak of. Hell, I remember Hunter's name right now, but I'm gonna assume that in like a week's time I'll forget about her name. I'll forget about the details about her because she was so, as an antagonist, she is unmemorable. And that's my only issue when it comes, well, one of my only issues, few issues of the series, that it hasn't been able to make an engaging antagonist yet. So that's something I really hope the future episodes of this series fix, because it does need to fix, and it needs to be fixed eventually, because if it wants to be more than just okay, the series, it needs to make villains that are actually worth a damn, because if it can't make an antagonist that's worth a damn, then at least for me, that's going to lower my entertainment value of the series. It's not a big issue. It's not a huge issue yet, but it's starting to become a huge issue because it's already episode 5, and once it gets to episode 6, it'll be at the halfway mark. That's why I think it's an issue. But in saying that, though, I liked most of what it did from a script standpoint for the most part. I do like how you had some of the dolls acknowledge that they're really stressed out. They have to do a mission immediately after completing a previous one. And I love how that was brought up to M416. It makes the dialogue in the series a bit more realistic because, yeah, if, say, you think of it as in real life, you do a job, but then immediately afterwards, you got to do even more work that you didn't really consider. And just to put yourself in the perspective of these dolls where you got to essentially do this, we have to complete a big-ass job. I could see why people would be annoyed towards M4A1. And that's why I think the dialogue of the series was good. I like how it acknowledges things like that. And aside from that, something else that I also enjoyed about this episode, I enjoyed it from a character standpoint. It was actually nice getting to see our girl AR-15 have some cool feats and actually being able to get out of captivity and even cause damage to the facility that she was captive in. I thought that was absolutely badass. And I thought that was damn cool. Again, though, I would have loved to have seen the limitations for abilities, though. But hey, what can you do? Oh, hello, I'm Doji. All right, I'll see you there. And something I also really enjoyed about this episode, too, was a bit of the character development for M4, where she's realizing that, yeah, she has to think things through a little bit more tactically. I thought that was sweet. I love how we get more characterization for Soap, too, where she's kind of reckless because she wants the action to be much more intense. I'm like, girl, you should be happy that things are going smoothly. And it was funny to see how she wished things weren't going as smoothly as they were. I thought that was actually pretty fucking adorable. And it makes her a much more fun and dynamic and memorable character. So that's what I thought the character running was great. And I even love the Giantine character development, where she instantly thought about the words of M4A1 and she decided to go with what she wanted to do, which was to go make a rescue mission to make sure that AR-15 was rescued. I thought that was actually really sweet. And that's what I thought the script of the episode was good. And even the action set pieces, even though they could have been better animated, at least it wasn't an atrocious dumpster fire like episodes 2 and 4. While it wasn't to say as pretty as episodes 1 and 3, I'd say this episode was in between the qualities of, say, it wasn't as good as episodes 1 and 3, but it was better than 2 and 4. So I'd say this is like a middling episode of Girls Frontline, if you ask me. So it's at least respectable, the quality in this episode. I'm going to probably react to either Worlds End Harm or Shaman King, whichever one of those two get translated first. And if they don't get translated, then I'll react to Q. So it'll be one of those three. It just depends because people haven't subtitled Shaman King episode 42 yet. Worlds End Harm hasn't released, but that could get subtitled pretty quickly. But it releases at 10:30. But if no one subs them, then I'll react to Q first. It just really depends on how quickly the subtitling people make the subtitles animated, OG. And yeah, that's why I love the writing quality of the episode. I thought the action was decent. I really would have wished we would have had more moments where the girls were hiding from cover, though. But at least we got to see characters get battle damaged by bullets, though, unlike the previous episodes where bullets sometimes hit the dolls' bodies and didn't do anything. So at least we get more reaction shots here, which made things a little bit more dynamic. Thought the voice acting was pretty good. And I thought the music utilized was amazing. They definitely brought an elevated the tension. And that's why, taking all things in consideration and rating this episode on a scale of 1 to 10, 1 being abysmal, 5 being 9, 10 being exceptional, I got to give it a 6 out of 10. But anyways, right before I go, let me just say thank you very much to Anime Doji for calling from the live chat. And thank you everyone else for watching my video. Hope y'all read it, share it, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later if you come back for more. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much for watching my video and have a fantastic day, everyone. Bye-bye.